Here we are, mid-December. It's like 35 degrees out here. So what are we working on today on the old lead sled? Well, look here. We got yeah. We'll take this off there so we can what we're doing here. So we got the 1976 Camaro. Yeah. So I've already, well, when I bought it, it had these 10-inch wide keystones on the back that somebody painted black. Now we got the weld wheels. Love this style wheel. Love the weld wheel. It's one of my favorites. Had it on my old 67 C10. Had it on a Jeep I had. Now I have them on these. I picked these up for $200 on Facebook Market. Had the rear tires on there, which they're shot. They gotta be replaced. Front tires, one of them had a blowout. It was all ripped to shreds. So I put some Mickey Thompson Sportsman Skinnies on the front. Love the skinny look. The wheels were in great shape. No curb rash, no bends. Came with brand new lug nuts, which we know, shoot, those were almost worth what I paid for it. But what I've done so far, that was the first thing I did. And this car was like a virgin. It still had all the air conditioner stuff on it. Didn't work, but of course, but still had single exhaust. So I took it in. The front transmission seal was leaking. So I took it to a garage in Kernersville and was going to have them just pull the transmission, put a front seal in for me. I could have done it, but I didn't have time or really the place to do it. And when they got it open, they noticed all the clutches were kind of burnt, so we went ahead and just had the transmission rebuilt. So the transmission is good to go. The brakes were real sketchy on this thing. They worked. That's about the extent of it. They worked. They gave us some stoppage. But as you can see, we've added duals. So we got the dual pipage. There's new brake drums. So we got dual exhaust. Went ahead and had them throw on a pair of, these are the Jigs brand headers, but man, they seem to work great. They're not leaking, sealed real well. Even came with a good gasket. And of course, we had to buy the ARP header bolts. ARP bolts and fasteners are spectacular for these autos. Oh, and thank my buddy Travis for this $30 hood light. These things are great, man. If you haven't seen them, they clamp to the hood. Got nice soft rubber on it, so you know we don't want to scratch any of this great paint we have on this vehicle. This thing is pristine as far as the paint job. Anyway, so we pulled the inner fenders out. After I got the transmission rebuilt, we drove it home, and man, you'd hit the brakes and the front end would just. So I knew the suspension was all original. It still had the original shocks on it from 1976. So we took, I say we. I took all that out. It's out here in a big scrap metal pile now. The inner fenders were in really rough shape. I don't have none of that in here to show you, but anybody that knows these second gen F bodies, this is where the battery tray goes. Actually, I can show you. Here's what's left of the original battery tray. Of course, I can't get this bolt out. It's like rust welded to the radiator support. Radiator support, I'm not going to replace it. It's still holding up pretty well. I think what we'll do is clean this up, shoot some primer on there, and maybe get some of that POR 15 rust preventative paint. Yeah, because we do have new, so I have them over here, new inner fenders, left and right. Man, you pick these things up on sale at Jegs. I think I paid like $250 for both of them, shipped, free shipping of course. And then I got the battery tray off Amazon. It's like $20. Anyway, so that's what we're doing there. I am repainting this car. It's actually going to be an olive drab green. We're kind of going for patina, rusted. I'm not by no means trying to build a show car here. It's going to be a driver. Most of the time I would tear all this apart and add chrome valve covers and aluminum intake. Still has the original Holley Quadrajet carburetor on it. Works great. Thing opens up, works. I'm just leaving it. I'm not doing it. I'm not pulling nothing off and painting it. Normally, see, this is what I've already started doing. I got CPP tubular upper and lower control arms because all the bushings on the old control arms were shot. But man, these things were like, I caught them on sale, the Black Friday stuff. So it was like $700 and some for all four, with the ball joints already in them and all the bushings and new bolts. These actually came with, so originally I bought this set off Amazon. Man, do not do it. The things were like $350. Shipped to my door. No, actually they were $443 with tax and everything. Shipped to my door. It's all excited. Had this thing up on jack stands, all took apart and ready to start reassembling. I tried to get all my parts here before I started reassembling, but as the story goes on, you'll see that this necessarily don't work out the way you think it will all the time. But anyway, yeah, I got these. Of course they were from China. Went to put them in. The upper one did fine. I had the upper on. Went to put this lower one in on this side, and it was a 1/4 inch wider than the original. It would not go in. There was no way. So this is where you should always read the reviews. It didn't have a whole lot of reviews on it, but all the ones that were on there were, yeah, these things are too wide. They don't fit by 1/4 inch. 3 different ones. 3 different reviews said that immediately. And so we ended up sending those back, and yeah, so I went with a CPP, which I used on my old 67 truck I had, and they worked great. Should have went with those originally. Sorry, the wife came out. Hey, we actually caught a snake on a glue trap instead of a mouse. Anyway, so yes, the CPP, they're based out of California, actually made in the USA. Man, them things fit like a glove. They slid right in. Anyway, we got new brake rotors, new remanufactured calipers from Napa. Man, those things were really done up well. Actually were painted, came with new hardware. Yeah, they really stepped up. So anyway, we do have new sway bar links. The original style would not work with these that's some of the things you kind of run into. We got all new tie rod ends, center link, idler arms, all that. Got a new master cylinder we're putting on. So yeah, so we're hopefully that takes care of the brake issues and the suspension. Got a new water pump we're putting on. So right before I started this project, there's a high pressure and a low pressure line for the power steering. The high pressure line, it blew freaking steering fluid everywhere. So I went ahead and figured, well, the pump seemed fine, but seeing we had it apart and it's probably the 1976 original, figured why not go ahead and swap it out, because they were like $75. But we got the pump from O'Reilly's. Said, yes, this one fits the 1976 Camaro. Lo and behold, yeah, it looked the same visually until you started looking at the bolt holes and the brackets wouldn't fit, wouldn't line up, so we have to return that. Now we got new brake pads and drums and new lines for the back brakes. What else do we have up here? A new water pump. The reason wasn't leaking, but one of the bolts to hold the power steering pump is broke off in this old one. So I'm like, yeah, well, just swap it out. You'll have a new pump on there. Be good to go for a good while. So we got that. Oh, here's the new battery tray. The new sway bar links also from CPP. Energy suspension sway bar bushings that are actually greasable. New rear wheel cylinders. So there we go. And of course our Pittsburgh pistol grip grease gun. Compression test kit, which I didn't really buy for this. It was on sale. This is air actuated. You actually hook it up to your airline. This is a brake bleeding kit. You can also use it to draw out fluid if you want to empty the master cylinder and such. So, what else do we have? Anyway, today I'm just trying to hang out here at the house. Oh, over here. Look at this. Nice set of Gabriel air shocks. So we got those. This box contains subframe connectors. Connect the rear leaf springs to the front subframe. Ooh, we got a nice new welder here. Got it all covered up for now. Anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at with this project as far as where it started. So here I'm going to show you what we're going to work on today. I've actually already started taking some of this apart. So I took the fancy seat covers off and look. Ooh. Yeah, I think we can patch this up good. Yeah, it's not dry or crispy or nothing. Probably the crispiest I've ever seen a cover on one of these. I've had numerous F bodies, and I could probably about take these apart with my eyes shut. Anyway, so I pulled the rear seat cushions out already, the bottom ones. We're gonna get rid of this old car. Boy, it stinks. Look at this. Yum. We got all kinds of stuff. Oh, look. A wire connector. Man, I've hit a gold mine back here. You wouldn't believe. Look at all this. Oh, yeah. Piece of foam rubber. Paper clip. Oh, boy. A button. I bet Grandma's been looking for that. Machine screw. I think this is some type of popsicle stick. We got a bobby pin. Ooh, this is vintage. I think that's going on eBay. Look at this. They must have ate at some high-dollar restaurant to get a toothpick like this. And this, I think this is what's left of the build sheet. I always enjoyed looking at the build sheets. Obviously, we're not going to be looking at this one. Oh, there's something. $1.60. I bet now that it's aged and vintage, I can probably get $10 to $12 for it. And this is, oh, I don't know what that is. And these are how they cover the part that the carpet doesn't cover back in. See, they got a hump cover there instead of carpet. I think they use these. Carpet actually goes up under it. I don't know why they do it. I guess they're trying to make it look like there's only one seat. So this side, looking at it, isn't too bad. Clean it up a little bit, probably prime it. I don't see any. Here, let me see if I can find something. Oh, yeah, I got a vintage generator here I'm working at. Here we go. Let me use this. Yeah. I think we're in good shape on this side, actually. I've already bought the pans. There's the drain plug. Still got the original sealant around it. We'll clean that all up. Yeah, this side's good shape. Obviously, I've already pulled some of the seal out. It was all dry rotted. Oh, yeah, see? That's the seal. It just fell right off. Anyway, here's the rest of it. It's like, it's not supposed to sound that way. So, so we're going to be cleaning all this carpet out. Of course, there's one bolt here and one bolt caddy corner. Really, that's all you need. You don't need all 4 bolts, it ain't going nowhere. It only flopped around like a fish out of water. So we're going to be taking all this out, remove the console. Actually, the console's in really good shape other than this. The arm pad, which you can buy separate. It unscrews from here. So all this, well, got a little bit going on back here. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. I'm not going to let that worry me, though. Like I said, we're not making a show car. The upper door panels are in really good shape. The plastic inside this car is just beat to death. Look at this. The Suns is just... If you ask me why I'm doing that, it's because I can. And it's shot. I actually found these. I bought a parts car, a shell, and these were on the seats that were in there. They're actually in really stable condition. We'll just sand them up, prime them, and paint them to match. I'm staying with the white interior because you don't often see that in these older Camaros. Most of them are black or red or tan. The rear seat back is actually in pretty decent shape. We'll probably salvage the back seat and just buy new covers for the front because this stuff is not cheap. I'm telling you. Let's go around to the other side where the passenger would sit. Nothing. So this is what concerned me. This side obviously is not as good a shape as the other side. And I'm not sure why. There's a plug. See, it rusted right out. You see the new exhaust there? Got some going on back here. And I think this rear window probably was leaking, which we're gonna pull the glass out too. So here's what we got going on under that rear seat. But Classic Industry, it was either Classic Industry or MPD, had these on sale. So I got this, which I won't be using the whole thing. We'll go through that when we get to it. This is actually the passenger side, so I'll be cutting what I need out of this and putting it in. I won't use this whole thing. If you got good original metal, there's no sense in cutting it out and replacing it. So we'll just end up cutting this. And I'm hoping, and I don't think it will, get up into here. We may have to add on to it because depending on where that seam is, but we'll figure that out. So we'll end up cutting this out across here and up into here. Make sure it's pretty solid still up through there, but probably cut it right above that rust line there and replace that. As you can see, all these cell panels are shot. They're just deteriorated. The rear panels, all of them are shot. These, I may be able to fix these up, but I don't know. We'll see. The dash is actually, passenger seat ain't too bad. It's actually, dash is actually not in too bad a shape. It's got a little bit of curl up there from the sun, but you know what? I'm going to use it. I'm just going to pull it out and paint it black. Dash will be black and the rest will be white. The console will be black. Probably black carpet is probably what I'll go with, or a slate. Thinking slate. Got the old Kenwood. Actually works. So there you go. You got some discombobbled washer nut. It worked great. Look, as long as it fits tight inside the circle, it'll be all right. It keeps it from sliding forward and back, right? So we'll be pulling these seats out, pulling the console out, and evaluating the floorboards. I know we do have some. Look, the doors shut really good. We got some rust going on in here. There and there. Quarter panels are in pretty good shape. I know we got some in the trunk around this. And sure there may be some going on. Yeah, around the window right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there we go. Now you can. So I'm gonna be, got a kit coming, cut this glass out of here, and we'll be repairing all this rust down in here. And that's probably what happened here at this seat, because you can see right there, it's obviously rusted through, and it looks like somebody tried stopping it by putting some roofing tar or something on it. Yep, sorry to tell you, but it didn't work. See there? Yeah, we're going to be pulling all this out and cleaning it up, getting that rust fixed before this thing goes back out in the road. So that's probably where this floor pan on the passenger side's been rusted through. Probably getting water down in there and sitting over years. This was actually a one-owner car from Winston-Salem. It's bought at Modern Chevrolet in 1976. See, on this side, I can't tell without really pulling this trim off. But from what I can see, this side is not rusted through at the trim. So that's probably explains why this side's in decent shape, and I probably caught it just in time because this adds some surface rust. But there's down in here, you can see somewhere over here buried. I already got, yeah, too much turkey dinner. I already got a piece of this cut off the donor car. Let me do this. Sorry, guys. When you're gonna do a video, you need to make sure you're organized. Jeez. We're gonna pop this trunk. And obviously, well, I'll show you when we get this opened up. Got the keys here. There we go. Every Camaro needs a motor Harley Davidson Cycles keychain. Just saying. So here we go. And the trunk will not stay up. I'm not sure if this originally had the spoiler on it. Some of these cars did not have a spoiler. It does look like possibly somebody added this on. So if that's the case, they got tension springs up under this panel right here. So if it was not intended for a spoiler, those tension rods are too weak to hold up the trunk blade with the spoiler added onto it. If it did come originally with a spoiler, half the bolts are missing anyway. If it did originally come with a spoiler, then one of these is probably broke, or possibly both of them. So we'll fix that. We actually have some on the donor car out here, which I'll show you. So here's what we have. You can see this. It was probably embedded with leaves and dirt and stuff, like most of them get if they've been sitting. I'm not sure where this. My neighbor actually bought this car from the original owner, and then I ended up getting it from him. So we got some rust going on here, and that's what this is for. I cut this off the donor car. So this will end up replacing that. And yeah, see how that goes. But it's in real good shape. And I'd much rather, I paid I think $300 for this shell out here to get cut the rust parts off of. And it's the same way on the passenger side. You rusted through here, rusted through down here. I already pulled the seal out. It was just like totally shot. Trunk lid's in pretty decent shape. We do have some rust. Here's the new, actually the new seals. Soft seal is the way to go. I'm telling you. Don't buy those cheap generic off brands. These were very inexpensive. I think the kit was both doors and the trunk was 140 bucks. Well worth it. Anyway, we got overall the trunk pan's in really good shape in this, surprisingly. We do have some obviously here around the rear bumper mount, a little bit down here, probably where water leaked in and sat. I mean, they had this old car cover thrown in the back here. Otherwise, there's actually the original air conditioner I saved. We got some going on here. Other than that, This trunk pan's actually in really good shape. We'll clean all that up and probably put some POR15 in here, and then probably to use some bed liner. Oh, Alpine 6x9s actually work. Actually, that one though, that one's just hanging up and dragged into the other one or something. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, so yeah, this trunk is actually in really decent shape, which is surprising for the amount of rust that's up here around the steel area. Anyway, you know, this wasn't a real sought after model, and honestly I never really cared for them much because they had these, kind of looks like a Chevy Monza in the back, right? Got the old aluminum bumper. Somebody's spray painted in black, which is probably a good thing so they don't stick out like a sore thumb. I'm actually going to pull them off and take them to DJ's powder coating and have them powder coated matte black, because the paint we're using is going to be a matte. Yeah. So I'm not going outside because it's like 28 degrees. Yeah, and I'm in North Carolina. So if you look here, that's my donor car that I'm going to cut some body panels off of. I got recovered the seat backs out of that one, and it's got some decent parts on it. So there you go. We're going to pull this out. I think we're going to have some rust down in here, which is not unusual for these cars. I didn't want to, but I don't know if we can see it back in there. Yeah, there you go. That's behind the inner wheel well, which is, let me zoom this back. Which, you know, this air circulates down through here and then goes in by your feet. So back in here's where it gets caught up with leaves and debris and mice, nests, all that good stuff. So anyway, there we have it. That's my 1976 Camaro. And yes, I did say we're painting this an olive drab green. I love the olive drab. It's going to be like a Hot Rod Flats, they call it, by TCP Global. So that's what we're doing, and then I'm going to do the deck stripes on it, which I'm going to do like an off-white. So I kind of like dealing with a military theme. That's kind of where I was with my C10 when I had it. So there we go. So I'll bring these stripes down over and end them back here at the bottom of the rear spoiler, which will be off-white. I'm not doing them on the roof. I particularly myself do not care for the stripes continuing over the roof. So they'll just be on the hood and on the rear deck lid. And then maybe on the roof if I change my mind, but I doubt it. So there you have it. So a good part of the front end work's done. We still got to bleed the brake system out. I'm waiting until I get the rear brakes on before I do that, so I can just do it all at once. But there you go. A 1976 Camaro. Original 350. This thing is banging with probably like 145 horsepower. Maybe. I think we added 2.3 horsepower just putting headers and dual exhaust on it. At least I want to think so anyway. Oh, I did another thing I forgot to mention, which we can't really see it because I did do a McAfee 2-inch drop spindle on this. I wasn't going to. I was going to use originals, and I was like, nah, I just want to. So it is really low, and I live on a dirt road, so the bottom of the headers will probably flatten them off by natural cause. So I did do a McAfee 2-inch drop spindle. You can see the tires tucked up in the front now. And we did coil over shocks. So we took out the original coil spring, and now we have coil over shocks that are adjustable. Not sure what brand they were. They were an off-brand, but they seem to work really well. We'll see how they handle once we get on the road with this thing. So there you go.